everybody, welcome live to the Jim Master Show, Live Entertainment Lifestyle Celebrity Talk Show series. So cool to have you here. We appreciate you joining us live from around the world with our international audience. It's always amazing to hear from everybody too, and all the interactivity and all the love and support for our show that continues to grow by leaps and bounds. It's really, truly amazing. And you make that happen by tuning in, watching, supporting, sharing, celebrating, liking, tagging, and all the rest it takes. It is a village and a community that we've created here at JMS, and you're a part of it. If it's your first time watching the Jim Masters Show Live series, welcome. If you've watched since day one, we thank you as well. Always have great celebrity friends and guests stopping by JMS, surprising us sometimes with entertainment or laughs or deep conversations, cool things they're doing. And it's always a wonderful conversation. Even though they're interviews, I call them conversations here at the show because it's a little bit deeper and you have a lot more ways that you can go about it. Nothing is scripted. It's all free form. And boy, we're excited because this is the trifecta for our guest, who's a big fan and big supporter of the Jim Master Show Live series. He's been on the show a number of times. He always has cool things to talk about, great things to share. I'm talking about our buddy, Sean Kanan is in the house, coming to us from Los Angeles. And boy, he has a lot to talk about. He's working on lots of great shows and projects. And he's just authored another book. Yeah, which is amazing. And of course, you guys know that he was in The Karate Kid. Just a little bit of a reflection. I know we talk about this on the show, but yeah, he's an actor, writer, author, comedian, Emmy award-winning producer, and Emmy-nominated actor. Sean Kanan's first role in Hollywood, bad boy Mike Barnes in the blockbuster franchise film Karate Kid 3. And, in 2022, he reprised the iconic role, receiving critical acclaim in the pop culture hit series 5th season. Also, of course, of Cobra Kai, and everybody knows and loves Cobra Kai as well, which is another incredible series. And we talked about that a lot too. Many of you also, we'll talk about that more. Many of you also remember him from General Hospital. For all the daytime fans out there, the soap fans, and there's a lot of them out there. You guys are a loyal lot. Of course, he was AJ Quartermaine on General Hospital. Did you remember he was also in The Outsiders? That's right. Yes, and this was in Playboy. But this is what you saw, nothing more. This is what you saw. Yeah, he's been in everything, truly. The Young and the Restless, of course, The Bold and the Beautiful, great characters. Deacon, of course. He created and got the Emmy for this incredible production, which is, of course, Amazon Prime, Studio City. Really incredible. Not only acting in it, but the creator of it as well. And of course, I mentioned Cobra Kai. That is a tremendous series. He's written books that have gone beyond even the series itself, which is amazing. Do you remember when he was with Bruce Willis in Survive the Game? Yeah. Or how about Sinister Society? For all of you Lifetime fans, I know there's a lot of Lifetime Hallmark fans out there that watch our series as well. You remember when he was in The Fortress? Yeah, absolutely. He's a busy guy. He's got a lot going on, and we have an amount of time with him that we're going to maximize here on the show because he's got a lot going on. And of course, there he is with the first, and this is Way of the Cobra, which is really amazing. I also want to let you know, too, that he's a speaker. He teaches acting and monologue and performance, which is really terrific. And of course, he does a lot of cool things like this. You can join him for one-on-one VIP coaching and all kinds of things. So in addition to being a fantastic performer, producer, writer, director, he is also mentoring young minds as well. And there is the newest. And believe it or not, there's another book coming out beyond this that he and Michelle are working on. And yeah, a lot of talent, originally from Cleveland, Ohio. He's been doing this a long time, and he absolutely loves every second of what he's doing. And again, this is his third time on our show, and we're so excited about having him here. It's really, really cool. As I mentioned as well, Cobra Kai, of course, on Netflix. He also has appeared in a lot of other productions too. And what's really, really cool about all of this is he's writing left and right. And he's a published author over many, many times. His very first book, The Modern Gentleman, Cooking and Entertaining with Sean Kanan, received rave reviews. The second book, of course, was Success Factor X. That became an Amazon new release bestseller after less than a week. It was named one of the 20 most inspirational books in the last 2 decades by Book Authority as well. And he's also always, he's politically involved too, in terms of trying to, he's like me. He roots for the underdog. He roots for the person that's maybe sitting in the corner of the room that's not being taken care of. He's lobbied Capitol Hill to raise awareness about bullying, or performing stand-up comedy as well in Bosnia to entertain the troops for the USO. Sean Kanan remains active in numerous charitable organizations, including the American Cancer Society. Thumbs up to that. I used to host a public affairs TV series for the ACS, for American Cancer Society, for years. It's a great organization. He's been a part of that as well. Various animal advocacy groups. Maybe you didn't know all this. You always see him everywhere. You're like, how does he have time to do this? He's got a family and kids. Also, the International Youth Ambassador for Bhuttu Bullying, which I think is amazing. And again, he received the 400th star on the Palm Springs Walk of Fame for his creative work and acts of charity in Hollywood. Absolutely. And again, he resides with his wife, Emmy award-winning producer and writer Michelle Kanan, in California. And he's a talent. He's a talent. And we're excited to have him back here on the show. I know you guys are excited. You want to comment during the show? Feel free to do that. Spread the word. Share this on your social media. Here is our buddy, mine and yours, coming back to the Jim Master Show live, Sean Kanan. He's always got a home here. Sean, welcome back to the show. Pleasure to see you, my friend.
Thank you, Jim. It is so great to be back with you. Yeah, the third time here, right?
That's it. Trifecta.
Yeah, you said something really interesting in the introduction about how it really is just like having a conversation with you. And that's one of the things that I love the most about the show. It's just like sitting down with a friend and having a fairly intimate conversation that just happens to have people listening. I really like that. Thank you.
I like that. Yeah, sometimes the viewers will send notes and they'll say, thank you so much for allowing us to eavesdrop on the conversation. And I'm like, absolutely. You guys are welcome. It's one big community here. I was telling Sean before we went live, I usually chat with the guests prior. We check audio, video, make sure everything sounds and looks good. That we've, done about 1,061 episodes in about almost 4 years as of today. And you've been with us since almost the beginning of the series, and episodes, series. And it still boggles my mind. We've done that many shows in that period of time, Sean.
The first one I did was at the height of COVID. Yeah, because I remember it was during the lockdown, and I was so happy to be doing the show and having some connection with the outside world. I'll tell you, when COVID first started, I had never heard of Zoom, right? And it's like this indispensable part of my life and many people's lives now. And during COVID, getting to talk to you remotely like that was amazing. And here we are, like you said, almost 4 years later. So I'm honored to be back.
It's really cool. So I've talked about, of course, all the cool things that you've done coming out of the gate. You've done so much film and television and stage and a published author and everything else. But you've got some exciting new things that you want to share with us that you've been working on. And congratulations on, yet again, another book in the mix. That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm really excited about this. This is going to be the third book in the Way of the Cobra series. It's called Cobra Couples, and I am co-authoring it with my beautiful and amazingly talented wife, Michelle. This is a book that absolutely requires having a male and a female perspective. It's written with the same format as Way the Cobra and Welcome to the Kumite. And it's really been an interesting experience writing with my wife. It's been such a positive thing for our relationship. Working closely with your significant other has some advantages, but it also has the potentiality for some difficulties, and we have been working so well together. I'm just so excited for this book to come out. It's probably going to wind up coming out midsummer. Hopefully it's going to be coming out right around July. And I'm so excited to have the potential to do all of the podcasts and talk shows and things with Michelle, because she's got a very interesting and unique perspective on a lot of things. And hopefully we're going to be able to help a lot of people.
So we're going to book that date soon. We'll
Yes,
talk
sir.
about that. We'll have you guys back on and we'll share that book. That's exciting. Congratulations on that and working together. Yeah, it does open up a whole new voice even between the two of you, right? Writing that together.
Very much so. Yeah, because you live your life and it's your life, and you don't really dissect it certainly as much as you do when you're writing a book and offering strategies to other people. And there's a certain chronological component to it where we've gone back and talked about the very beginning of our relationship. And our relationship started in a very crazy sort of way. I mean, Michelle was a mother of 4, getting out of a long-term marriage, and I had a daughter, and I was kind of the single guy trying to figure some stuff out. And I saw her, and it was honestly love at first sight. And she said, I've got 4 kids. And I was like, I don't care, because very often when you meet the one, it doesn't always come in the package that you imagine it comes in your head. When it's right, it's right. And so suddenly I found myself a father of 5, and integrating myself into a relationship with 4 children who didn't know me. And it was a tremendous growth experience, not always easy. But now looking back on it, it was one of the pivotal things in my life, I mean, and to have these 4 amazing stepchildren and have such a close bond with them, what a gift.
It gives you a new appreciation whenever you're watching reruns of the Brady Bunch,
and I quit, Jim,
or
and
8 is enough.
And I quit drinking. Most people start drinking.
Well, actually, that's when they would begin, right? There's no time now. You got to take this one to Little League practice, and this one to this, and this one to that. And so you, in addition to your epic career, I mean, you've been on network television, you've done it all, major movies, and you're so effortless at it. And it just is something that, is born within you. You're a great entertainer. You're funny. You're a comedian as well. People may forget that part of you, but you have this mission, which I think is what's extra cool about Sean Kanan, is you could just rest on and bank on the art itself, the work, everything you've done on television and film and more, and say, that's what I am, the actor, and I'm good with that. But you have this real burning, yearning desire. I think it just comes from who you are, plus the training, the skill set, the tenacity, the focus, the clarity that you have, and that you've meandered through to find, to want to really guide, inspire, empower, and show the way to others and for others. Where does that come from within you, Sean? I think it's the extra sauce when you have an opportunity to come across a Sean Kanan.
Well, I think the cobra that rests on their laurels gets up with thorns in their tails. So I'm always trying to do something. But if I had to really look at the genesis of it, my parents are really driven. My father was a very successful, brilliant businessman. Went to Wharton, was always working hard, and then at a certain point in his life got into writing. And my dad is now, I think he's on like his 10th book. So from a very early age, I was exposed to traditional business, and to a certain extent, the arts, with my father writing, and my mother has been extremely involved in all sorts of charitable work. She's a gifted artist in her own right, as a photographer. And so I don't know. I think for me, I'm a guy that had to bang his head on a steel door for a long time. And I finally figured a few things out. And I figured, what, if I can figure it out, anybody can. And I've always wanted to inspire the world. I think that's why I originally got into acting, even though I didn't know it at the time. I probably got into acting for a lot of the wrong reasons. And along the journey, I fell in love with acting and realized that it was just one conduit of many that I could use to try and be an inspiration to the world around me. My writing, my speaking, my coaching, etc. And I truly love having the opportunity to work with other people and help them be the best versions of who they are. And, I know that sounds like a little bit of a beauty queen, but it's not. And there's a selfish component to it. And the selfish component is it's one of those things that in order to keep it, you got to give it away. Mm-hmm. And my working with my coaching clients, I had several of them today. My speaking, I was telling you before we went on the air that I was speaking yesterday at a juvenile detention facility. Yes, I have something that I'm trying to give away to others, but in the act of doing that, it helps recrystallize it within myself. So it's kind of there's a reciprocity to it.
What's that like, going in and speaking to, young minds like that who maybe their lives have been derailed and they see a Sean Kanan, somebody coming in and they're like, wow, here's somebody, who's done something great in his life. And what's that like talking to them? And what are some of the things you see them dealing with these days? They got a lot. You and I were talking about, it's a different world from when you and I were kids. A little more freer and innocent when we were kids. Yeah.
Well, first of all, I went in and even though it is a juvenile detention facility, you're walking through all of the security protocols and, very quickly you get the fact that this is lockup. There's razor wire, there's, detention cells, there's armed guards. And you meet the kids and they vary in age from very young to apparently now 25, which sounds really strange, but apparently there was a law that was passed in California, I don't know if it's in the rest of the country, that they can keep people up to 25 in these detention facilities for kids, which I don't know. That's kind of a strange law to me, because there's a big difference between a kid who's 14 and a kid who's 18. There's a big difference between a guy who's 25 and a guy who's 18, and 14 and 25 is the difference between a boy and a man. So anyway, some of these kids are getting ready to be released and be reintegrated into society, and others are getting ready to matriculate into adult prison. One of the kids that I met yesterday has a life sentence. And so, I said to them, first of all, I realized I was going to have to speak to them very honestly, and one of the things I said was, success is like an iceberg. You guys see me walking in here thinking I'm some guy that's a TV star and I've got a nice suit on and this and that. And you see the piece of ice that's sticking out above the sea level. But you don't see the giant block of ice that goes underneath the water, which is the pain and the shame and the sacrifice and the challenges that I felt. I said, let me tell you something. Everybody fights a private war that you don't know about. And I got into talking about compassion with them. And I think the really important thing was, I told them, I said, listen, the circumstances that brought you to where you are right now are going to follow you the rest of your life. They are going to dictate how the outside world looks at you, and more importantly, how you look at yourself. Whether or not this experience proves to be positive or negative is up to you. This is like a chapter in a book. And this can be either the beginning or it can be the beginning of the end. And you have to decide if this is going to be a catalyst for you guys to make a positive change in your life. Your life isn't over. And I said, even, to the guy that's going to prison potentially for the rest of his life, you can have a successful life. It may be a non-traditional one, but you can be of value, not just taking up space. It's up to you. And I feel like we reached some of these kids. And I went in with a friend of mine whose name is Sonny Von Cleveland. He's an author. And he's a guy that spent 18 years in prison. And we come from very, very different backgrounds. And I said to the kids, look, you hear us saying some of the same things. When you hear people from two very different backgrounds saying the same thing, that's the time to listen, because it means most likely that it's true regardless of where you come from. And I said, you guys all come from a very different upbringing than I had. This guy comes from your upbringing. And, you know, when you hear somebody tell you you're not a victim, that, you know, your life isn't over, it's up to you, you know, listen, because when you see these common denominators, generally it's because they're true.
Right, exactly. Right. And it builds up and builds up and builds up. And then things happen that, you know, point them in a different direction. And you and I were talking about that. The mental health situation, too, is very much talked about now, finally. And people are trying to find ways to address it. That also comes into play, the anxiety, depression, bullying. You've been an advocate, you know, in support of stopping that, which I think is very, very cool as well. Tell us about some of that kind of work that you do to try to make the world a better place for people.
Well, I mean, look, first of all, when you talk about mental health, we have got to drag this out of the shadows and start to eliminate the stigma. Okay. I mean, you know, there is this kind of group consensus that nobody talks about, but we all sort of silently agree upon, which is you're supposed to be okay all the time. And if you're not, then there's a problem with you. And the fact of the matter is that all of us at some point or another need some help. You know, all of us have had those moments when we're not sure if we're going to make it. You know, we're not sure if this whole story is going to shake out in a positive way. And having an environment where it's okay to say, hey, you know what, I could use some help right now, as opposed to having to, you know, bury it down there and hide it. I think that's one of the first things. You know, I work with some specific charitable organizations, but my motto is I try to never say no. You know, if I can do whatever I'm asked to do and I can work it out, I try to do it. You know, just yesterday, and you know, when you do that, amazing things happen. I was asked yesterday or the day before to be on an amazing podcast for veterans, and I'm a huge supporter of our military, of law enforcement, and I think a lot of our veterans are getting a really raw deal when it comes to how they're treated with their mental health, etc. And, you know, I just kind of gave my spiel and talked to these guys, and the interaction and communication that I received afterwards was just mind-boggling. It was almost like you got the feeling like they were just so happy to have somebody hear them and listen to them and understand them and not bullshit them. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I think that's where a lot of it starts. Just everybody having open conversations, not conversations that are sort of these monolithic conversations in support of one specific idea, and, you know, just kind of talking to each other like people and realizing that everybody needs help with something.
That's exactly right. Yes, they really, really do. And oftentimes, you know, it's not until that conversation happens that people then start to feel comfortable enough to share it and emote and tell the story. And I think what you're doing with all of this is amazing work, and it really does resonate with people, and it helps people, and it's you know, it's part of the legacy. It's part of your life's calling, in addition to, you know, the acting and the comedic work and everything else. This is something that just transcends, which I think is amazing. This too, as well. Welcome to the Comedy. Tell us about this, and congratulations on this one as well.
So, Welcome to the Kumite is my my most recent book. It's the sequel to Way of the Cobra, and the Kumite is an epic battle. And who's that epic battle against? Well, it's against your greatest opponent. And who is that? It's you. So how do you win this epic battle against your greatest opponent who knows everything about you, all your weaknesses, all of your insecurities, all of the challenges? Well, the way you do that is by emerging every day as a kinder, wiser, stronger, tougher, more self-aware individual. And it's a constant and never-ending process of self-examination, self-improvement. And Welcome to the Kumite picks up where Way of the Cobra left off. It's in some places a much more personal book where I talk a lot about my struggles with alcohol, I talk about moments that I wasn't sure I was going to make it. And I don't mean ending my life make it. I mean, I just wasn't sure if my story was going to end up in ashes or in success. And I think most people that have had a significant amount of success in their life, if you talk to them, will tell you that they have, in the words of Mick Jagger and the Rolling Stones, had their moments of doubt and shame. I mean, you don't know necessarily if it's going to go your way, and hopefully that serves as the catalyst for some self-exploration and some new strategies. It certainly did for me. And I'm very proud of this book. It just came out on Kindle about 2 weeks ago, and Way of the Cobra just came out on Audible about 6 weeks ago on Audible, and it's narrated by me. I read the book myself, and there's also a bonus chapter in it that does not exist in the paperback version. So I hope everyone will please go out and check out the books. And I always tell people this: whenever you do a podcast and you talk about your books, sure, you want to sell books. I mean, I'd be lying if I said that I didn't, but I honestly want to get these books into as many people's hands as possible. And, I give a lot of these books away. I'm giving them away, for instance, to these kids at the juvenile detention facility. And so the people that buy the books are effectively, they're subsidizing the giveaway to those people that can't afford it. And I believe that really that's at the essence of Way of the Cobra, which is paying it forward. So just in buying the books, you guys are helping to pay it forward.
Well, like you're saying, Way of the Cobra, you learn how to really smash those obstacles, conquer the goals, and really unleash that inner badass, which I think is really cool, And now with this, you teach them how to defeat the greatest opponent in the most important battle of your life. And I think it's amazing. Welcome to Kumite. I mean, it's referring to both training to face that adversity and the epic battle which lies ahead of you. And sometimes the epic battle can be even getting out of your own way, right?
It's so much about getting out of your own way. It's amazing when you can get out of your own way. It's almost like the heavens part, and all the things that you want and all the things where you felt like you're a salmon swimming against upstream seem to be so effortless and so easy. And human beings, we cause so much drama and difficulty for ourselves by what we create between our ears. Lao Tzu said that if you're depressed, it's because you're living in the past, you're ruminating over the past. And if you're anxious, it's because you're anticipating and worrying about the future, which obviously none of us know. And so it really is a testament to being able to stay in the present, live in a world of abundance, not scarcity. And when you do that, you put out a vibration of abundance. And I'm a huge proponent of the law of vibration.
Mm-hmm.
It says everything is energy. Everything vibrates at the subatomic level, and emotions and thoughts and words all have a vibration. The highest vibrations are love and honesty and compassion. And the lowest ones are jealousy and anger and violence and fear. And when we learned in school that opposites attract. Well, that's only true with magnets. When it comes to the universe, like attracts like. And so when you're putting out a vibration of love and confidence, and I live in abundance, I don't live in scarcity and fear and anxiety, the universe gives you more of it. But when you're walking around and say, for instance, you want more money, and you're like, God, I want more money, but I'm always broke. I can never get the job. All the universe here is I'm broke and I want to stay broke. And it gives you more of it. Life, everybody has been kind of lied to that life is fair. Life isn't fair. Life isn't unfair. Life is just life. Even when it seems unfair, it's just life being life. But it bends toward wanting you to succeed if you put out the vibration that it can match. And so I've become a huge proponent of that. And I've seen it work in my own life where things that I've struggled for years and years now seem to come to me effortlessly. And it comes from being happy with what you have. That doesn't mean content. It doesn't mean not preparing for the future, not working like hell, not having goals. But it means not coveting things,
Right.
not focusing on what you don't have rather than the gifts that you do. And when you do that, things just sort of come to you.
It's amazing. It's very liberating too, isn't it?
It is. It
Yeah.
is.
What's really cool about this too is that you are revealing truly and sharing with the reader sort of the tools and methods that you use on a daily basis to safeguard your progress and ensure that continued success.
Yeah, I mean, this is all stuff I use every day. I mean, I always preface this by saying, it's not a theological statement that I'm making, but first thing I do in the morning, I hit my knees, I thank my creator. I think of 5 things I'm grateful for. And if I can't think of something, I thank them that I'm alive and have a chance to be a better version of myself than I was yesterday. And instantly it roots me in the present. I'm in a place of gratitude. And that's how I start my day. And, meditation and just, for me, a big thing with me is always trying to be of service, to bring value to every transaction, every interaction I have, even if it's just going through the checkout line and maybe smiling at the checkout person who's, working a double shift and having a lousy day. It's like the law of vibration. It's contagious. You smile at them. And have you ever noticed that, when somebody yawns, you tend to yawn. If somebody smiles at you, you tend to smile back at them, because that emotion is a vibration and it's contagious. And if we all just sort of, ingested it in ourselves and then passed it on, man, this would be a better world.
Absolutely. I'm right there with you 110%. I did an experiment with a friend that works in retail, and he, it's just part of the vernacular now these days, but, and he's younger, and I said, I heard him saying no problem a lot. No problem, no problem, no problem, no problem. So I said, maybe try this experiment just one day. And if it works, it works. It doesn't, throw it out and go back to no problem. I said, switch out no problem when you're talking to management and staff and customers coming through the store. Switch out no problem and just say, my pleasure.
My pleasure.
And see what happens, if anything. Again, if nothing happens, then you tried it, you gave it your best shot. Just go in tomorrow, give it a shot. He went in, and every time he said to management and staff and coworkers and customers coming through, my pleasure. It got to the point where people were actually thanking him for saying my pleasure by just changing up the wording. It just created this comfort zone. The person said to themselves, wow, it really was a pleasure for him to do this and not a problem.
Yeah. And it does 2 things. First of all, when you say no problem, you're implying that this would normally be a problem, but I'll do it for you and it's not a problem for me. So right away, it's almost got sort of backhanded negative.
Dismissive, sort of, yeah.
But another very interesting thing happens. The way we talk to ourselves is really important. And when you affirm that it's your pleasure to do something, it begins becoming your pleasure. Now, look, I mean, if somebody said to you, hey, I want you to dig a 10 by 10 hole in my backyard, and you said my pleasure, it might not be your pleasure immediately. But you know what? If you force yourself to keep saying it, and then you start thinking about, well, you know what? It's actually like a physical workout. So I'm getting a workout. I'm doing my friend a favor, and you start thinking of all the reasons it actually something as that I wouldn't want to do, it starts to become a pleasure because of how you talk to yourself.
Tell us also about the fact that you teach, I mean, you do Zoom and everything else, monologue and acting and getting into the business and dealing with the ups and downs of the business. That's a whole other cool thing since we chatted last that you've added to your repertoire and your toolkit, Sean.
I love teaching acting. So I'm actually offering 2 seminars that are going to be, when are they? They are Saturday, March 9th, I believe. You can check them out on my Instagram page. And, I love working with actors. They're March 9th. I teach a seminar on acting and the business of acting, because here's the thing: a successful acting career has two components, and they're both equally important. You have to know how to act. You have to understand the technical aspects of acting, but you have to recognize that it is a business based on commerce. Acting is one of many artistic pursuits that has an absolute nexus with commerce. Okay. And so, you've got lots of talented actors who don't understand that it's also a business. And unfortunately, they don't have the success that they want because they think that somehow understanding the business aspect of entertainment dilutes their artistic pursuit. And it's simply not true. I've been fortunate to study with some of the greatest acting teachers in while I've been alive, with the great Roy London and Ivana Chubbuck and Howard Fine and Michael Shirtliff. I've done over 1,000 episodes of television, and I work on both sides of the camera. I work as a producer, and I've directed, and I work as an actor. And so I've got a unique perspective. And the other thing is, I like actors. There's a lot of people out there that will work with actors that don't like actors, and I do, and it gives me a lot of pleasure. And again, it goes back to what I said, Jim, about my coaching. It keeps me sharp to be able to work with young talent as they're coming up. And so I try and make my seminars very affordable. They're only $49. I tell people, if you don't like it, I'll give you your money back, and nobody's asked yet.
That's perfect. So they can go to Instagram to find out.
Yeah, go to Instagram if you want to sign up. Go to my DMs, and we're
it's
over
all there.
My website right now. It'll be done in a day, and that's why they're not up right now. But just go to my DMs and ask me about it, and I'll give you all the information, or on Twitter. They are filling up quickly. They're on March 9th. There is Acting and the Business of Acting, which is from 10 to 12 Pacific time, and then the monologue, Crushing the Monologue, is from 1 to 3 p.m. And you will get the opportunity to perform a monologue in that seminar. And they are both, they're both terrific. They're game changers.
That is really cool. That is awesome stuff that you're doing. I'm telling you. How do you find the time? How do you find the balance between the demands of the profession and writing and speaking, the family, all of it? How are you? People are saying, well, how is Sean doing this?
Well, one thing is my wife and I are always together. I mean,
it's a team. Yeah.
Just on location for 3 weeks, and Michelle comes with me, and if she has to go somewhere and I'm not working, I go with her, and so we keep that connection all the time. We have an open door kind of policy here with the kids. They're always coming over and raiding the refrigerator and throwing something, and I love it. I work very hard when I'm filming Bold and the Beautiful, but we also have a lot of time off. We generally only film 4 days a week, so I always have a day off. And then we usually film for 3 weeks and then have a week off. And, I schedule my coaching clients around that, and I still make time to do my martial arts training and everything else. I just like to lead a very active lifestyle. But people say I'm a workaholic, and I guess to a certain extent I am, but I love what I do, whether I'm writing or coaching or acting. So it doesn't seem like I'm working. It just seems like I'm doing what I dig doing, and I'm just kind of always doing something.
You certainly are, my friend. The soap world, or daytime dramas as they call it now, is a unique world unto itself. And you've again had all these opportunities on some epic series.
Who is that young boy?
Look at that guy, huh? And this guy here.
Look at him.
That's it. You look the same, Sean. You look the same. I tell you.
Good lighting and Botox.
Yeah. Do you got a sale on that too? Or
Right?
if you do the 49 for the lessons, he'll throw in a vial.
That's right. Exactly.
Actually, after the lessons, folks, you'll be smiling so much you won't even need it. So what's it like, Bold and the Beautiful? You're on there on CBS all the time and knocking it out of the park.
It's like the greatest job in the world. I love the people I work with. I've played this character. I'm the only guy that's ever played this character since 2000. I know this character inside and out, which it's wonderful to play it. I have the opportunity to work with really talented actors like Kimberly Brown and Thorsten Kaye. And I mean, just, I really like the people I work with, both in front of the camera and behind. We are only a half an hour show, so we've got a very small cast and a relatively small crew, and we all know each other and support each other. We get a month off during the holidays. We get a month off in spring. I mean, it's a really blessed deal, and I do not take it for granted for one single moment, because it really is like getting the golden ticket. It's not about money. It's not about being on TV. Don't get me wrong; those are nice, but it's about getting to go somewhere and do what I love, a couple times a week. So much of being an actor is you're looking for work, and it really can be a psychological grind if you let it, when you're not getting the opportunity to do what you love. And I get the opportunity to do it all the time. And it's still, after 40 years of being a professional actor, it's still like play for me. You know what I mean? I still like it.
It's hard to believe when
I'm not bored with it, and I don't phone it in. I take it seriously, and I take the responsibility I have to all the people that love the show seriously, and I just love it.
Cobra Kai too, of course. You're so identified with that franchise as well. That's been a blessing, huh?
Oh man, yeah. What an amazing experience that is. I mean, the longitudinal aspect of coming back to play a character 35 years later is not something that happens very frequently. And, coming back and doing it on a platform where the show is so successful worldwide, what a blessing. What a blessing.
Studio City too, when we were chatting, you were immersed in Studio City. That was something that was really special, near and dear to your heart, garnered all kinds of awards, and you were so pumped about it, and really a terrific series, and creating, performing in it. That's another extraordinary experience for you too, huh?
Yeah, Studio City, actually, we have a deal with a company that is going to be now distributing it on multiple platforms.
Oh, that's cool.
Hopefully we'll be going back into production later this year and bringing all new episodes. But rather than simply watching it on Amazon Prime, you're going to be able to see it on lots and lots of different platforms. And they are going to be 30-minute episodes. The episodes that we had were shorter form episodes.
Quick. Yeah.
And they've all been recut. And it's now going to be a re-released season 1 of full 30-minute episodes. Really excited for everybody to see it again in its new format, and for those who haven't seen it to see it, and to bring you some amazing new episodes.
That is really going to be awesome. Hey, we dug this up too, huh?
Yes, you did.
Yes, you did. I bet that issue was a sellout, huh?
It was so funny. I had been on General Hospital for like maybe a month, and they said, we're going to do this photo shoot with you and 2 other guys, and it's for the men of General Hospital on Playgirl. And I was like, Playgirl? What?
That's right, Playgirl. Yeah, I think I said Playboy, Playgirl. Yeah.
I'm not taking my clothes off, and they were like, no, it's not that. So anyway, we did these photos, and they wound up picking me for the cover, and that was interesting. I never thought that I would be on the cover of Playgirl magazine, and I was kind of honored. It was kind of weird. It was kind of funny. My dad going and buying a couple copies of Playgirl magazine at the local magazine stand in our small town. But it was actually fun.
That's Dinner table talk for sure, huh? Right? The Outsiders, another. We're remembering that one.
Yeah, I'll tell you, I grew up on S.E. Hinton's books. The
Mm,
Outsiders, that was then. This is now Rumblefish.
right.
And, it's interesting. Ralph Macchio and I have had this weird sort of through line in our careers because, of course, he played Johnny in the movie The Outsiders. And I played Greg Parker, who was the head of the Socias. And,
Right.
when I was a kid and I read those books, and I used to imagine in my head the badass cars that they drove, the Mustangs and the Letterman jackets, and the big brawl with the oil cans on fire. And then when we filmed that scene, which was the big rumble between the greasers, which was David Arquette and Boyd Kestner, and Billy Bob Thornton was in it. He wasn't one of the greasers, but Billy Bob was in it. And it was, we drove in. All the Socias drove in their Mustangs, convertible Mustangs, and the greasers came in, and it was just like I imagined it in the books. And then I got a chance to do that, and it was such an amazing and fun experience.
That is so cool. Yeah, to be involved in something like that. And of course, working with Bruce Willis was another, survived the game.
Bucket list. I worked with Bruce on 2 films in 2020. We shot those in Puerto Rico. There's Bruce admiring my hair. The director, who's a friend of mine, James Cullen Bressack, said, "Hey, listen, when you get to Puerto Rico, we're going to give you a haircut." And I was like, "Yeah, okay, no problem."
Yeah.
He gave me a haircut, all right. So I walked around with that for about 2 weeks.
Yeah, right.
That was interesting. And then I got back to the States, and they said, "Hey, listen, we're doing another film with Bruce. He wants you back." And I got back in a plane and went back to Puerto Rico and shot another film with him.
The Fortress, right?
That's kind of a bucket list thing, yeah.
Yeah, another one. Lifetime, Sinister Society. A lot of people.
Yeah, I got to work with my my pal Lindsay Corman from Daytime, who is just a terrific director. She directed that, and that was a lot of fun. Got to play a psychopath, basically.
Right. Well, Lifetime, What are some things, that you, of all the things, and this just really is touching upon the surface, scratching the surface about your incredible career and everything you're doing. But what are some things that you still have out there that maybe you haven't done at all, but Sean still wants to tackle?
Wow. It's funny. A lot of them now center in my public speaking. I really want to try and find the largest forums that I can find to speak, to sort of, pass on the information that's in my books. That's something I'm really passionate about doing. I still think that the greatest part that I'm meant to play is still out there for me, and I'm very excited about hopefully finding that. I'm excited about doing more Studio City. I'm excited about collaborating with my wife more professionally. Michelle's a very talented director. I think the biggest thing is that at 57, I'm as fired up as I was at 27. And I think when you still are in touch with your why, with your passion, then good things come. I'm very excited about this new book that I'm writing with Michelle, Cobra Couples, which will be out this summer. And I just, I'm just looking forward to seeing what comes. And it doesn't mean that I'm inert and I'm not working towards things, but I know things are coming. I don't know which one is going to come on what schedule, but I just know that there's a lot more great stuff that I'm going to be involved in. And I can't wait to see what this kind of, next chapter of my life looks like.
What is your routine like? How do you stay fit? Physically, mentally, spiritually, you've got a routine and you have the focus. People probably watching saying, "Boy, he looks, like $1 million." What does he do to stay fit?
Well, I've lost about 50 pounds, and I also offer a weight.
How'd you do that?
Well, if you want to know, you should take my Way of the Cobra Blueprint for Weight Loss, which is I'm also offering.
Perfect.
There's a lot of strategies that I use to do it. And I will tell you this, that it did not involve starving myself or living in the gym. Okay. There's a difference between discipline and self-discipline. So discipline is the guy that goes to the gym 3 times a week with a trainer. Self-discipline is the guy that wakes up at 6 o'clock in the morning and gets himself to the gym 3 times a week. I'm a guy that needs a little discipline in some areas of my life. So I'm fortunate that I'm in a position where, I can have a trainer. And so I work out religiously with my trainer. I still train on a good week, a couple times a week in martial arts. I do a lot of my own food prep and cooking, A, because I like to, B, because I have more control over it. I do watch what I eat, but I don't diet. It's the kind of thing where as you get older in life, and it applies to everything from sex to it applies to, physicality to you learn to work smarter, not harder, because you have to. And, I always joke around that I treated my body like a nightclub for the first 50 years. So I'm trying to treat it like a temple for the next 50.
It's a good way to look at it. Absolutely. It's great advice for everybody watching right now who might be in that position in their life too, where they look back and like, gee, a couple of things they did in the past, I got to sort of, find that focus and get that train back on the track. And I think one of the cool things, as I said many times before, is how you are so open and real and authentic about everything. You know what I mean? You wear your heart on your sleeve, and you've got this career and, the imaging and the branding and all the things that come with that career. But you're also, a regular guy that has a family and, loves his family and his friends, and you go through ups and downs in life. And yeah, there's Tinseltown, but you seem to have grounding, this rooted. Do you think growing up in the Midwest helped have that sort of stability at all?
I think that's part of it. I think also, when I did Karate Kid 3, I got a lot of attention when I did that, and I made a lot of mistakes. I mean, I was a young kid living above Sunset Boulevard with a little money in his pocket and single. And I mean, of course you're going to get into trouble and make mistakes. And I think I got a lot of it out of my system in some of my earlier years. And I realized that, family, close friends, that's critical. Character, integrity. It's not about the external trappings of, am I on TV? Am I off TV? Do I have this toy? Do I have that toy? It's about the intangible things that cannot be taken away from you, whether by age or by socioeconomics, which are, your character, your passion, your drive, all of those things. And so I've worked hard this last decade to cultivate that stuff. And I think that has helped me a lot. My wife has helped me a lot. And really just getting a firm grasp on what's transitory and what's permanent and really important. And like I said, Jim, I made a lot of mistakes, banged my head against a lot of walls. And that's one of the reasons I wrote these books. I always tell people, I'm not living on top of some mountaintop, levitating 3 feet off the ground, contemplating my navel. I'm just another guy that is trying to figure it out. And I figured a few things out. And if I can help you along the path, then I'd like to do it if you give me the chance.
It's really cool. Really cool. And wayofthecobra.com is one of the places to go as well. The book's Amazon. You can go to Amazon, Barnes and Noble, folks. Of course, Instagram, as Sean mentioned. Before we head out, because I know you got a lot of things going on, and really appreciate all the time. And you've got a home here. I said last time we were going to keep the porch light on for you, and that porch light is always on for you.
My wife and I want to come back and talk.
That would be terrific. And we've had, you may remember, everybody, his daughter, fabulous performer as well. She was on the show, which was very, very cool. She's welcome back anytime. Any other things that are coming up that you're excited about that you wanted to share while we're here together?
I'm going to be at the Hollywood show in Burbank, California, May 1st and 2nd. I'm excited
Cool.
about that. Like I said, I've got all of my seminars that I'm going to be offering March 9th and 10th. And if you go on Instagram, you'll see all about them. Shooting a bunch of shows on The Bold and the Beautiful, going back into production on Studio City at some point later this year. And I'm going to be putting out the third book in the Way the Cobra series called Cobra Couples. Way the Cobra just came out on Audible, and Welcome to the Kumite just came out on Kindle, and that's all I can think of, and that's probably enough.
That's quite a bit, my friend. That
Right?
is quite a bit. Absolutely. It's always cool to have you here, Sean Kanan. You are a star in many respects, on camera and off. And truly, I'm so glad that you came on the first time, the second time, and you're here for the trifecta. And I wish you nothing but continued blessing and joy in your life. Let's, of course, continue to stay connected, my friend, and keep me posted on all off the air as well. And we'll schedule to have you come back for the big reveal, which will be cool as well. Really love that.
Thank you to your audience. I know you've got a loyal fan base, and it's always an honor to be here, pal. And we will keep in touch, okay?
Absolutely, my friend. You be well, okay?
All the best. Bye-bye.
Cheers. Sean Kanan here on the Jim Master Show, live entertainment, lifestyle, celebrity talk show series. Very busy guy. We're so excited to have him here. And take a look at some of your comments as well. You guys have been really active in commenting throughout the show. This is the third time that he's stopped by the Jim Master Show live. He's a good friend of our show. He's a really good guy. And this was a really terrific conversation. You know, we talked about his career, of course, his background, the shows he's been on, Young and the Restless, and Cobra Kai, and Studio City, and the films, The Karate Kid 3, and everything else. But we've also talked about some of the other things he's doing, which I think is great. You know, these things that sort of empower other people and inspire other people in ways that transcend anything that you could see maybe on a script, which I think is really, really cool stuff. We pulled up, you know, some vintage photos along the way too, of course, as I mentioned, as AJ Quartermaine on General Hospital. And he was talking about what it's like these days on the set, playing Deacon on The Bold and the Beautiful on CBS, which he's still doing as we speak. He was, of course, on The Young and the Restless as well. Exciting news about Studio City and about a deal they're working out to have it on multiple platforms and to have it be 30 minutes as opposed to just a shorter sort of blip. And then also more coming out too, more episodes of Studio City coming out, which is something terrific. Cobra Kai, of course, you know that is something amazing that he's been a part of. And yeah, this is the most recent, but he's working on a version for couples, which I think is really, really cool. And I said, he is always inspiring. He does all these different things to help you sort of, you know, get back on track, be inspired, be motivated, sort of slay that dragon, even if the dragon is yourself, just try to overcome obstacles. He has done it himself. He's been very open about that, you know, in his life. So he is an inspiration in that way. He spoke at the detention institution yesterday, which I think is really something quite special as well. There's Way of the Cobra. That's available now on Audible, as Sean had mentioned. And this just came out, you know, not that long ago, a matter of weeks ago, which is really cool. And then again, can't wait for the couples one to come out. We're going to have Sean and Michelle, his wife, back. And yeah, this was Playgirl. I think I just said in the intro, Playboy. No, there's a little bit of a difference. This was when he was on the cover of Playgirl. He got a kick out of that when we sort of brought that on the screen. Good guy, isn't he? Terrific friend, a buddy, and always somebody that's very supportive. He loves what we do here at the Jim Masters Show, and that's why he wanted to come back for yet another great visit. And if you love what we're doing here at the Jim Masters Show live series, which is something quite special, gang, we encourage you to do this. Go to the YouTube channel section where you see there's a thumbs up and give this episode a like. That helps us grow, helps us reach millions more around the world. If you enjoyed this episode, give it a like. Share this episode on social media. Share the YouTube link. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV, and leave a comment too. Leave a comment underneath the episode. You watch the episode on the YouTube channel, and then there's a place underneath for comments. A lot of our viewers love to leave comments, tell us about what they enjoyed about the show. Maybe you're a big fan of Sean Kanan or a fan of our show and maybe of my work on television and radio. Whatever the case may be, interact with us. Leave a comment. We would love that. We like to respond. Of course, it makes us feel good when we see your comments. And we thank everybody who takes the time to like, share, comment, subscribe. It means the world to us, means we're doing something that resonates with you, clicks with you, that you enjoy, and something that, you want to see more of, you want to be a part of. It is like a nice community. We use the word levity here at the show, which Sean knows about. He was already designated that, the first time he was on the show by the viewers. That's love and levity put together. And because I said it one day, I've said it a million times on the show. I said the show is a lot of light, love, and levity. And the one time I said it so fast, I said levity, and out came that word, and boom, the rest is history, gang. Really cool stuff. Really a great full hour conversation with Sean Kanan. Really terrific stuff. And if you enjoyed it, certainly let us know. He's very excited about all the cool things he's got going on. And he was just shocked about the amount of episodes of the Jim Masters Show Live series we've done. He works in episodic as well. He just couldn't believe how many shows we've done. He said, God, he started calculating. He said, you must be doing, what are you doing? 1 a day or 2 a day? And I said, sometimes 2 a day, but generally almost every single day we've done these Jim Masters Show Live series. Actor, writer, author, comedian, Emmy-winning producer, and Emmy-nominated actor, Sean Kanan, joining us here on the show. Again, you remember him with the Karate Kid 3, Ralph Macchio. Love to get Ralph Macchio on the show. That would be cool. Had an opportunity to meet him on several occasions. He's originally from Long Island, New York, as am I originally as well, Ralph Macchio. Sean hails from Cleveland. Cool stuff. You enjoy yourself. You have a good time. Let's take a look at a couple of the comments here and see what some folks have been saying. Our regular viewers who have been with us throughout the entire live show. Don't forget, we always archive our shows too. So if you missed anything, you want to see something again, or you want to share it with somebody who might have missed it live, we're going to archive this episode and all the other shows on our YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV, so you can see it again, watch it, and enjoy it. Just want to let you know real quick, tomorrow we've got a legendary Hollywood actress and revered playwright, the one and only Carol Hollenbeck, is going to be with us. This is going to be amazing. 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. Want to remind you, too, we've done tributes to Dick Van Dyke and his 98th birthday with special celebrity guests. And Margaret, the legend, has been on our show as well, and thousands more guests. Carol will be with us tomorrow. This is going to be, she's all excited. She's funny. She's warm. She's witty. And she's been doing it for decades. I think like 60, 70 years she's been performing. She's a legend. She's going to be with us on the next episode of our show, the next live episode. Sean with us here. And boy, do we thank our buddy for stopping by again. Really cool stuff. And yes, love seeing Angie here. Angie, Theo, and Deacon Sharpe needs an Emmy. Daytime Emmy now for Bold and the Beautiful. That's next. Yeah, absolutely. And Jane here from Sweden as well, which I think is absolutely awesome. And everybody watching from all around the world. And so happy you enjoyed it as well, Jane. And that's cool. And everybody else. Look at all these comments coming in here. Kathleen says, awesome show. Diana Fisher, good to see you, Diana. This was a very good interview. It's exciting when successful ones keep on keeping on. That's it. He and I are in similar businesses. We both work in television. He's been doing it a long time. I've been doing it a long time, and radio and stage and film. So I love talking shop. We did a little of that before the show started too. I love talking shop with him because we compare notes about our individual careers in broadcast media, and then some of the similarities. We have a similar vibe in terms of how we look at things. We're both in the public eye, we're both on screen or on air, but we realize, which I think is a cool thing, that family and friends and caring and love and empathy are really what drive us, but also what really is what's supposed to drive the world. You know what I mean? No matter how busy anybody may be, to be able to take time to share time with one another and some inspiration, and when somebody's down and just really not feeling it and they're just out of sorts, taking a moment to help lift them up, put a smile on your face and it'll put a smile on theirs. It's just like when you're in a room. Sometimes I love when I'm with a group of people and there's that one person that has that really funny laugh. That will make me laugh because of the sound of their laugh. And then I start laughing and then everybody else is laughing. And, that releases those feel-good hormones, the endorphins, and just really lowers the blood pressure. You got to take time for yourself. We mention it often on our show. So Sean, is right in play with what we do here with our amazing celebrity friends and guests that stop by. We go a little deep sometimes with the conversations, and we have all the laughs and entertainment. But what's really cool is we're able to connect in ways that go beyond just what you see on the screen. And that's something that Sean talks about often, is that, you see the image of him on television and in film, but there's a real guy behind that. And he's gone through his own struggles and his own anxieties, and he's worked through it, and he's gotten himself beyond it, and, addictions or whatever it may be. And he's here and everywhere to tell those stories and connect with people and do it in a way that I think is inspiring. That's what I do too. Even in my professional work in television and radio, a lot of the work I do does have a fun, but yet inspirational, connecting bent to it. And I think that's important. If you're lucky to do work that fills your cup, that inspires you and inspires other people at the same time, you are a lucky lad or lassie. You are really, really lucky, because not everybody gets a chance to do that, to do work that really speaks to who they are, allows them to express who they are and connect with people. Sean Kanan definitely gets to do that. I get to do it in my professional work. I get to do it here with all of you on JMS, and it means the world. He looks forward to doing his thing. I look forward to doing mine. And yeah, cool stuff. Maureen, I know it was great to have Sean, my buddy, back here at Lovely Hall. Keep changing the world. He's magnificent. Yeah, that's what it's all about. We got to change the world together. He talked about together, and I always talk about that too, having a community. As much as sometimes we like our singular moments, reminding us that we have a sense of community is really important, because that's how we lift one another up. And absolutely. Thank you very much, Angie, Theo. Great to see you, Jim Masters, and Danielle in here as well. Good to see you. I know you're a big fan of our show, and you pop in, and I really appreciate that. And check out all these other great episodes of our show. We really appreciate that. Merlin in Canada, it was awesome for you to want to come back and have a great conversation. Yeah, there's many, many guests on the Jim Masters show that want to come back. And many have come back 2, 3, some have come back 4 times. And some want to come back right after we wrapped the show. The first time Sean was on the Jim Masters show, we talked on the phone afterwards, and he said, "When can I come back?" And I think that was really, really cool. You guys are fantastic. And you guys are really, really great. And I love this. Good stuff. And just running through some of these comments here. Studio City, it was a great show, and it's going to be coming back, which I think is really awesome. And thanks, everybody. Yeah. Linda Odell watching from Florida. Good to see you, Linda. Yeah, nice. Excellent schedule. Very, very nice. Yeah, cool stuff. Nice stuff. Look at all this. Smiles coming in. Yeah. Look at all these great comments. I'm seeing them here myself. We're trying to sprinkle a few in. Yeah, I like what Cafe says here. Life is life. That's true. Yeah, but a slice said life will beat you down if you let it. The key is to not let it. Linda, good to see you. Linda, lovely Linda has been with our show for years. A wonderful evening too. You're having a wonderful evening with us here on the Jim Masters Show Live. That is very cool, Cafe. Love having you here. Linda, thank you very much. Good to see you. Welcome to Lovely Hall once again. Linda Odell in the house. You've got both books, Cafe. That is awesome. That is really, really cool. You can find them on Amazon, folks. And don't forget, you can also binge watch our series with extraordinary guests that come in from Broadway, Hollywood, television, film, music, stage, culinary arts. You know, we talk about all that all the time because the guests come from all these different backgrounds, which I think is really, really cool. And I'm glad you guys enjoy it. You can watch past episodes of our series on the YouTube channel. All of them are there in full. So you can go back maybe 2-3 years, and you might have forgot about certain guests that are on our show. And like, oh yeah, she was on and he was on. Wow, I missed that episode. I didn't even know that guest was on the Jim Masters Show. If you scroll back in the archives at JMS, you'll see all of them there, saved and archived for you. And even sometimes I will go back in time and I'll look at the earlier episodes and just, see how the show has grown from a production standpoint, a technical standpoint, being the producer. I look at it from producer's eyes, but also, different tweaks we've done. And also I'll look at episodes and say, wow, I forgot about that. Or sometimes, because I'm hosting the show, I get pleasure watching the episodes because then I can get to kick back and watch this series like you do, watching it as a viewer, soaking it all up, hearing the funny moments, the jokes, the singing, all the stuff that's gone on here, and the surprises too. I love to watch it as a viewer like you do, because sometimes, not that I forget who's on, it's just that we've done so many shows. It's a nice refresher when I go back in the archives to see some of the past episodes. It's cool stuff. So just like you, I like to go back in those archives and check it all out as well. You guys are great. A multitude of comments that are in the chat room here. I hope you'll also leave these comments on the YouTube channel. A couple of reasons why. And don't forget, if you have subscribed, thank you. Be sure and click the notification bell icon. Why do we say to do that? Because when you click that, you'll get notifications from us. It's just a little alert saying, hey, coming up on the next episode of the Jim Masters Show Live, or 2 days from now, this guest is going to be on, or we're going to do a surprise pop-up show or something like we've always done over the years. You'll never miss anything if you want to be with it live. Hello to everybody who has said hello as well. We appreciate all the hellos coming here, and absolutely nice to have Sean back here on the Jim Masters Show and Lovely Hall, and nice Green Queen Army watching from the Belfast area in Northern Ireland. He watches all the time as well. Cafe, thank you. Yes, we are putting together again. Yeah, and it was really, really cool. You guys are great. Tons and tons and tons of comments here. We're going to wrap up. A busy day. I was on the air all day today with 4 radio shows. And then I was just writing a script for a big TV shoot that I've got coming up on Saturday in the TV studio. So it's crazy busy here. And we're doing a lot of traveling, a lot of studio work. I host this show, but then I host a TV news magazine series in New York. You guys know for years I've been on PBS, been on iHeartRadio hosting a show, a travel series on CBS and elsewhere. And I wear a lot of different hats in the industry. I also MC, and I write and produce and narrate and do voiceovers and a lot of stuff and a lot of years. maybe I'll have the tables turned and somebody will interview me. I've been interviewed in the newspapers and on other shows and stuff, but when you look back at it all, like we did with Sean, you look back and you're like, my God, I forgot I did that and I've done that and I'm a part of that. It's kind of cool, you know. Take time for yourself, as we always say. As many times as I say, take time for yourself, Jim has to remember to do it for himself, because sometimes I'm so busy, you know, doing what I got to do and loving what I'm doing, but also taking care of everybody else, that sometimes I forget to take care of me. So we've been doing that lately, and I appreciate that. And Sean is somebody who can show you too how you can take care of yourself in a way that makes a big difference. And it's really important to do that. Life is short, so enjoy every second of it. Come back and see us again. As I mentioned, boy, do we have a fun show with this legendary Hollywood actress and extraordinary playwright and so much more. Carol, just Google her. You'll see who she is if you're not familiar. She's going to be a hoot tomorrow, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific on JMS. And, of course, we thank our buddy Sean Kanan. Great show. We hit on a lot of topics. Of course, his career, current shows, past shows, but also the cool things he's working on that inspire people. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode of the Jim Masters Show Live series. Thanks for stopping by. I'm your host, Jim Masters, thanking you for your time this time. Till next time, we love you all. Don't forget to take care of one another and take care of yourself and be good to one another and be good to yourself. Really important to do that. We have fun with these shows and we have fun with you. Love you all. Thanks for the love and support. Like, comment, subscribe, all the rest that we say, share, and come see us again right here on the Jim Masters Show. We'll be right here waiting for you. We'll keep the porch light on for you as well. We always do. Be well, everybody. Cheers.